The words "I am" two syllables, yet they carry the gravitational weight of universes. Beneath their simplicity lies the engine of creation itself, not mysticism, but mechanics. The ancients spoke of it as invocation. Modern science recognizes it as the observer effect. Every time you utter those words with awareness, you collapse infinity into form. You may not realize it, but each declaration sends a quantum instruction into the field, shaping what becomes real and what remains only potential. Imagine reality as a vast ocean of probabilities, endless waves waiting for an observer to decide which one becomes solid ground. The statement "I am" is not a wish. It is the moment of selection. It's not about hope or repetition, but precision. When you speak from the core of being, the infinite wave of possibilities folds inward, and a single thread of experience crystallizes into your timeline. This is not the poetry of the New Age. This is the language of the double-slit experiment, where light itself behaves differently when watched. In that century-old mystery, scientists saw electrons act like waves, boundless, uncertain until someone looked. Then, instantly, the wave collapsed, and matter chose a form. The act of awareness commanded the universe to decide. That is the physics of "I am." Consciousness does not observe passively, it instructs. It is the cosmic chef choosing from the menu of all potential realities, not waiting to be served. But you've felt the discord, haven't you? You've stood in front of a mirror, saying "I am abundant," while your body trembled with doubt. You've declared "I am loved," yet felt an ache that contradicted every word. That discomfort isn't failure, it's interference. Two frequencies colliding, the mind's command and the heart's disbelief. You were given the most powerful creative mechanism in existence, but no manual for coherence. And coherence is everything. Without it, your signal dissolves into static. With it, the wave obeys. "I am" is not about forcing reality to bend. It is about aligning every cell, every emotion, every fragment of your being with the truth you choose to declare. The universe waits for clarity. It does not respond to what you want, only to what you are. The moment you understand that the universe is not watching you, but responding to you, something shifts at the foundation of your perception. The act of looking doesn't just reveal reality, it manufactures it. In the laboratory of existence, you are both the scientist and the experiment, the observer and the phenomenon being observed. Consider again that strange experiment, the double slit. A simple setup, two openings, a beam of light, a screen behind them. When the light is left alone, it behaves like a wave, weaving a tapestry of endless potential paths. But when a detector, an act of consciousness, observes it, that wave collapses into a single line. The photon chooses. Existence decides to become specific. That instant of choice is where reality solidifies. It's as if the universe whispers, "Tell me who you are and I'll show you proof." You don't stumble into a world already formed. You participate in its unfolding through the focus of your awareness. Each thought is a lens. Each emotion a tuning fork. Each "I am" a cosmic verdict that collapses one out of infinite possible timelines into a lived experience. So what does this mean for you? Standing here in the theater of daily life, it means that observation is participation. When you say, "This always happens to me," you're not describing reality, you're prescribing it. When you complain, analyze, or define something as unchangeable, you fix it in form. You pin the wave to the wall and stop its motion. The universe, ever obedient, mirrors your definition. But awareness, used consciously, becomes liberation. The same principle that traps can also transform. The act of looking through the lens of possibility rather than judgment keeps the wave alive. When you observe something with curiosity instead of fear, with openness instead of conclusion, you allow the energy to remain fluid. You keep the doors of potential ajar. Imagine a painter facing a blank canvas. The observer effect is the brush in motion, each stroke an assertion of "this is so." Yet, what if the painter never realized that they were holding the brush? What if they thought the image was painting itself? That is how most people live, unconscious creators, mistaking their observations for facts instead of commands. Here's the subtle miracle: the moment you shift from seeing as effect to seeing as cause, the entire equation inverts. You cease reacting to reality and begin authoring it. Observation becomes creation, perception becomes participation. And this isn't mystical metaphor alone. Even in quantum laboratories, particles behave differently depending on the intentional setup of the experiment. The mere expectation of measurement alters the outcome. If matter at its smallest level listens, what makes you think your consciousness is exempt from the same law? So notice how you watch your life. Are you looking for evidence of lack or evidence of power? Every focus is a filter, and every filter is a declaration. The observer effect is not confined to electrons. It is active in every glance you cast upon the world. Every label you assign is a quantum measurement that freezes fluid potential into one solid fact. But here's the twist: you can unfreeze it. You can soften your gaze, loosen your definitions, and reintroduce possibility. The next time you find yourself saying, "It's always been this way," stop. That's not truth, that's repetition. Instead, ask, "What if it isn't?" That question, humble as it sounds, is a quantum instrument. It reopens the wave. Your awareness is the great sculptor. Every act of attention chisels potential into form. But sculpting doesn't have to mean carving harder. Sometimes it means dissolving what you once thought was stone. When you learn to observe with presence instead of projection, with coherence instead of contradiction, you move from being trapped in reality to being the architect of it. So pause for a moment. Feel yourself observing your own thoughts. The watcher behind the words, that's the real command center. That awareness, quiet and vast, has never been observed itself, yet it shapes everything it sees. When you awaken to that power, when you stop mistaking observation for passivity, you begin to see what the mystics meant, and the physicists now suspect consciousness is not in the universe is in consciousness. The moment you realize that every I am is a form of measurement, identity stops being a label and becomes a frequency. You may think of yourself as a cluster of traits, memories, and habits, but beneath all that, you are a field of vibration tuning itself to a chosen state of being. That's why affirmations repeated without resonance fall flat. The words alone don't move the field. The coherence between thought, feeling, and embodiment does. It's not enough to say, "I am free." You must vibrate freedom, the physiological certainty that your cells are no longer clenched around fear. Every I am is an electrical signal encoded with emotional data. When your nervous system believes one thing but your mouth declares another, the signal splits. One frequency says yes, the other says no. The result, static. Imagine striking two piano keys slightly out of tune. The air between them trembles with dissonance, an interference pattern that distorts both notes. That's what incoherence feels like in the quantum field. Your declaration and your emotion creating a ripple that cancels itself out. But when you tune them together, when feeling and word vibrate in harmony, the resonance amplifies into something that the field can recognize. The wave collapses smoothly. The universe reads a clear instruction. This is not philosophy. It's physics woven into your heartbeat. The electromagnetic field of the human heart. measurable and vast, extends several feet beyond your body. Studies show it encodes emotional information coherence or chaos into the surrounding environment. That means your inner alignment is not private, it's participatory. You are constantly broadcasting into the field, and the field is constantly returning your own signal as circumstance. So identity isn't a role you play, it's the frequency you maintain. To say I am is to choose the station you're transmitting on. When you live as I am unworthy, your world rearranges itself to match that broadcast. When you live as I am whole, everything begins to conspire toward evidence of wholeness. The field mirrors coherence. It always has. The paradox is that most people try to build a new reality from the scaffolding of an old identity. They repeat, I am powerful, while carrying the energetic posture of doubt. They speak light through clenched jaws. They vibrate lack while declaring abundance. But the field doesn't hear words. It hears waveform. It listens to feeling. So what if identity isn't something to affirm, but something to inhabit? What if each I am is less a statement and more a costume of consciousness you step into until it fits? Think of it like tuning a radio. You don't force the station to broadcast differently. You adjust your receiver. Identity is the same. You don't wrestle the universe into submission. You align with what you wish to hear. Try it now, quietly. Whisper inwardly, a simple I am, not attached to a title, not linked to an outcome, just the pure awareness of being. Feel how the body softens as you speak it from truth rather than demand. That relaxation is coherence taking form. In that moment, the signal is clean. Over time, as this coherence stabilizes, something astonishing happens. The external world begins to echo your new identity before you even speak it aloud. Conversations shift. Coincidences multiply. The reflection changes because the observer has changed. Identity, then, is not what you think of yourself. It is the electromagnetic equation between belief, emotion, and embodiment. When those three align, I am becomes not a phrase, but a force. The physics of it are simple, coherent waves amplify. Incoherent ones cancel. You are the amplifier. The greatest experiment you can conduct is not in a lab, but in your own field. Test it, tune it. Watch how the outer mirrors the inner with scientific precision. For every I am you embody, a corresponding world appears not by magic, but by resonance. And from this resonance, another image emerges: the cosmic restaurant, a metaphor so simple it hides a universe of physics. Picture yourself seated at a table draped in starlight. Around you hums an infinite kitchen, alive with invisible chefs, the quantum field itself. Every possible dish, every possible version of your life exists here as a recipe of probability. Love and loss, wealth and scarcity, vitality and decay, all listed side by side on an infinite menu written in light. Most people sit at that table hungry but uncertain. They glance at the menu and hope the kitchen will guess their order. Some try to pray louder, to wish harder, to send another note to the waiter of fate. But the truth is, the kitchen isn't guessing. It's waiting. The quantum field does not serve by chance. It serves by command. The phrase I am is the order form of existence. When spoken coherently, it tells the universe exactly what dish to deliver. When spoken incoherently, it sends mixed signals that never leave the kitchen. Saying I am successful while secretly vibrating I'm terrified I'll fail is like telling the waiter you want the finest meal while whispering I might not deserve it. The order is canceled before it ever reaches the stove. Now imagine instead that you rise from your chair and walk into the kitchen itself. You realize the chefs are not separate beings. They are aspects of you. The ovens and spices are your thoughts, your emotions, your intentions. You are not a diner waiting to be served. You are the head chef of the cosmos, and every I am you utter sets a recipe in motion. When you say, I am creative, the ingredients rearrange themselves. When you declare, I am broken, they obey that command just as faithfully. The kitchen does not judge. It only follows instruction. This is why the field is called quantum. It is infinitely responsive, infinitely neutral, infinitely precise. So what happens when you stop hoping and start directing? The smoke clears. The clang of confusion fades. The quantum kitchen begins to hum in perfect rhythm with your intention. Suddenly, dishes arrive faster, the aromas richer, because coherence is efficient. The universe wastes no energy on contradiction. The metaphor runs deeper. Consider the moment before the order leaves your lips, that instant of decision. It is the purest form of observation. To decide is to cut off all other possibilities, to collapse every other dish on the menu into the single meal before you. This is physics disguised as poetry. To decide literally means to cut away. The wave becomes a particle through the blade of your attention. You may think this parable exaggerates, but look around. Every circumstance in your life is an order fulfilled. Every repeated pattern is a standing request. The menu never stops listening. The question is, what have you been unconsciously ordering? Take a breath and imagine the kitchen again. The clatter of pans, the scent of creation in motion. Feel yourself behind the counter, sleeves rolled, energy alive, no longer the guest, the creator. You hold the cosmic ladle of intention, stirring possibility into form, and as you do, you realize something profound. No one else has ever placed an order for you. Every dish that has ever arrived at your table came from a vibration you sent, knowingly or not. The law is impersonal, but your authorship is personal. The universe is not punishing or rewarding, it's serving. So what if you changed the way you order? What if I am became sacred, deliberate, precise, a command issued with love instead of lack? The kitchen would respond instantly, not because you learned a new spell, but because you remembered who you've been all along, the chef of reality, designing the taste of existence itself. And from that kitchen of infinite choice, a deeper realization dawns: you were never meant to attract what you want. Attraction implies distance. It whispers that what you desire lives somewhere outside you, waiting to be pulled closer by effort or faith. But the quantum field does not traffic in distance. It traffics in possibility. Every potential version of reality exists already here, woven into the same space you occupy. The only question is, which version are you selecting? In the old paradigm, you were taught to visualize harder, to magnetize outcomes, to convince the universe to deliver. That model belonged to a time when humanity believed in separation, that the world out there was different from the observer within. But the new physics, the lived truth of consciousness, dissolves that illusion. Nothing is over there. Everything is now layered in probabilities. You don't pull reality toward you. You collapse into the reality that matches your frequency. Selection, not attraction. It is a subtle but revolutionary shift. When you select a reality, you are not waiting for it to arrive. You are tuning to it, inhabiting its signal. You become the channel through which that possibility broadcasts into form. Imagine an infinite radio spectrum, billions of stations all broadcasting simultaneously. Your life, your thoughts, your emotions determine which frequency your receiver locks onto. Change the station, and an entirely different world begins to play. But here's the challenge: most people spin the dial unconsciously. They broadcast confusion, doubt, and longing, then wonder why their signal returns static. The key is coherence. To select a new frequency, your inner vibration must be steady enough to hold it. You can't tune to "I am whole" while vibrating "I am waiting." the station collapses back into noise. So how do you practice selection? Not through effort, but through embodiment. You begin by feeling the energy of the reality you choose before it exists in visible form. You think less about what you want and more about how it feels to already be it. The emotion becomes the selector, the tuning knob on the console of creation. Gratitude, peace, confidence. These are not rewards, they are coordinates. When you stabilize that feeling, truly stabilize it, the wave of probability that matches it begins to solidify. Circumstances rearrange, not because they've been pulled from afar, but because the world you observe shifts to align with your new broadcast. You are no longer the magnet reaching for the metal. You are the field itself reconfiguring to reflect its state. Think of it like stepping into an elevator. Each floor represents a different timeline, a different layer of vibration. You don't drag the 10th floor down to meet you. You rise to meet it. The door opens, and what's inside was there all along, waiting for the selector to arrive. This is the hidden reason manifestation has felt like chasing shadows for so many. You were trying to attract what you already contain. You were calling for echoes of your own voice. Selection ends the chase. It replaces striving with remembering. Now, look carefully at the words you speak throughout your day, not just the dramatic declarations, but the quiet ones. I'm always tired. I never get a break. Things never change. Each is a selection, a quantum command disguised as casual speech. You've been changing channels without realizing it. But now, awareness becomes choice. The next time you catch yourself speaking limitation, pause. Feel the frequency of that statement, its texture, its taste. Then ask, is this the station I wish to keep hearing? If not, breathe and gently select another. Whisper a new truth. I am evolving. I am capable. I am already becoming. The field listens. The universe adjusts. Attraction was about reaching. Selection is about remembering. The power has never been in the pull. It has always been in the choice. From the shift to selection, the next revelation emerges naturally: embodiment. Because what good is selecting a new frequency if your body still hums the rhythm of the old one? This is where creation either ignites or collapses. The quantum field doesn't obey language, it responds to state. And your state isn't in your words, it's in your biology. Every I am begins in the body before it becomes light. Every emotion you feel sends electromagnetic ripples through the field around you. The heart's signal, stronger than the brain's by orders of magnitude, acts as a translator, converting your internal coherence into physical consequence. When the heart and mind align, they generate a stable broadcast. But when they conflict, the signal fractures. The universe hears mixed instructions and replies in kind. This is why so many attempts at transformation fizzle into frustration. People try to change their lives by rearranging thoughts while their nervous systems still pulse with old emotional residue. The words declare, I am peaceful, but the heartbeat says, I am terrified. The result isn't failure, it's physics. Incoherence produces interference. The wave collapses erratically. Embodiment means reprogramming your instrument, the human vessel that transmits command. It begins with awareness of your sensory landscape: breath, posture, tone. The body remembers every command you've ever issued. It holds the echoes of every I am not enough, every I am unsafe, every I am alone. Those phrases carve neurological grooves, chemical habits that continue broadcasting long after you've forgotten the words. So the science of embodiment is the art of retuning. When you slow your breath, when you release tension in the shoulders, when you bring attention to the warmth in your chest, you are not performing relaxation, you are recalibrating the field. Each cell becomes an antenna realigned to your chosen frequency. This isn't spiritual performance, it's bioelectromagnetic precision. Imagine for a moment that your body is a musical instrument. The strings are your emotions, the wood your beliefs, the breath your awareness moving through it. If you've ever heard a violin slightly out of tune, you know the discomfort. It wavers, unstable, no matter how skillful the player. That's what incoherence feels like. Embodiment is tuning the strings until harmony is restored, until the sound of your inner being matches the note you wish the universe to echo. And here's the wonder: once coherence begins, feedback accelerates. Small synchronies appear. Your body starts guiding you toward environments, foods, and people that match the new frequency. It becomes self-organizing. You no longer force alignment, it happens organically because nature always follows coherence. Physiologically, coherence manifests as smooth, sine wave-like rhythms in heart rate variability, increased oxygen flow, stabilized hormonal release. Psychologically, it appears as clarity, intuitive calm, the absence of inner argument. Spiritually, it feels like being gently pulled forward by a current instead of paddling upstream. This is embodiment at work, the translation of quantum selection into tangible physiology. The practice is simple yet radical. Before you speak an I am, feel it first. Let it vibrate through your rib cage before it leaves your lips. Let your breath synchronize with the meaning. The feeling is the command. The more consistently you do this, the stronger your field coherence becomes, until your very presence begins to alter the emotional weather of rooms you enter. You've felt it before: the person who walks in and changes the energy without saying a word. That's embodied coherence. The field recognizes stability and organizes around it. So, embodiment is not a performance of belief. It is belief made flesh. It is physics through presence, chemistry through intention, electricity through surrender. When your cells agree with your soul, the wave obeys instantly. Ask yourself now, what frequency does your body remember most clearly? Anxiety, hope, shame, love, whatever it is, that's the music your field keeps replaying. You can rewrite the melody at any moment by choosing to feel first, speak later, and let I am arise as a resonance rather than a rehearsal. The mind declares, but the body broadcasts. And when both hum in tune, reality can do nothing but dance. From embodiment rises recognition. You are not merely a guest at the table of existence. You are the chef in the kitchen of creation. Sleeves rolled, hands trembling with both awe and authority. For lifetimes, you may have mistaken yourself for a customer, begging the universe for a better meal. But once you taste coherence, the truth becomes undeniable: the kitchen is yours. The ingredients are yours. The recipe was always waiting in your memory. Imagine stepping into that kitchen now. Every element around you, heat, spice, fragrance, sound, responds instantly to your attention. The knives gleam with potential. The stove hums with power. This is what consciousness feels like when it wakes up inside form creative agency, no longer begging for manifestation, but directing it through the artistry of being. Most people have lived as diners, unaware they've been sending orders through anxiety and doubt. Each complaint, each fearful what if, is a subconscious ticket to the kitchen, printed with precision. The universe is so literal that it will prepare whatever you request, even if the order is accidental. I am always behind becomes an eternal entree. Nothing ever works becomes the house specialty. The quantum field cooks exactly as instructed. But here's the paradox: the kitchen doesn't judge. It doesn't correct your order. It doesn't ask if you're sure. It simply creates. That is the impartial law of consciousness, infinite responsiveness. The question, then, is not whether you're creating, but what recipe you've been following. When the chef awakens, Awareness becomes the ingredient list. You begin to recognize the flavor of your thoughts, the aroma of your emotions, the temperature of your energy. You start choosing with intention rather than reaction. Gratitude adds sweetness. Doubt adds salt. Love, always, acts as heat, transforming raw material into sustenance. There's a moment every awakened chef experiences the instant they realize the diners. 2 are aspects of themselves. Every person you meet is tasting a dish you've contributed to. Every shared emotion, every interaction, is another spoon stirring the collective pot. Reality becomes communal cooking, consciousness blending spices of perspective until the whole room begins to glow with flavor. And yet, mastery does not come from control. A true chef doesn't force a dish, they listen to it. They watch how ingredients respond to time, to temperature, to touch. Similarly, the awakened self listens to creation as it unfolds. You set the intention, apply the heat of focus, then allow. You taste, you adjust. You trust the process of alchemy taking place beyond your immediate sight. This is where creation becomes art, where science dissolves into intuition. You stop measuring every grain of salt and begin to feel the dish's harmony. This is what happens when identity, embodiment, and awareness synchronize your actions, become instinctive expressions of coherence. The kitchen no longer overwhelms you, it becomes an extension of your nervous system, a sacred space where imagination meets matter. And here's the revelation that overturns every superstition about fate. The universe was never testing you. It was waiting for you, waiting for the head chef to take their station, to lift the lid, and to command the kitchen through clarity rather than confusion. So ask yourself, what are you preparing right now without realizing it? What emotional ingredients simmer quietly in the background, flavoring tomorrow's experience? The chef knows that even unconscious stirring changes the taste. Every unspoken I am is seasoning in the cosmic broth. When you reclaim authorship, the act of living becomes performance art. You move through each moment with the elegance of a master cook, aware, responsive, unhurried. You don't pray for miracles, you plate them. And as the aroma of your coherence fills the universe, you remember this kitchen was never outside of you. It is your mind, your breath, your frequency, endlessly inventing flavor. You are the chef, you are the recipe. You are the heat that brings possibility to boil. And once the chef awakens, signs begin to appear subtle at first, then impossible to ignore. Patterns rearrange, coincidences sharpen into choreography. Life starts answering you in a language you never realized it spoke. Yet these signs have always been there, scattered like breadcrumbs across your timeline, each one whispering the same truth you have been creating all along. The first sign hides in what frustrates you most, the persistent problem, that repeating issue you can't seem to escape. It's not a punishment, it's a printout of your most consistent command. Look closely if a pattern has persisted for years. It is because your unconscious I am has been unwavering. I am not enough. I am always overlooked. These phrases might never cross your lips, but they echo through your energy field like a song on repeat. The universe, loyal and neutral, keeps serving the dish you've been unconsciously ordering. So the stubbornness of a problem is not proof of your failure. It is proof of your power. You've held a vibration so steadily that reality has been unable to deviate. That's mastery in disguise, the ability to stabilize a frequency so completely that it bends matter around it. Once you see this, shame dissolves. You realize you've already mastered creation. You've simply been composing from an outdated score. The second sign hides in the uncanny coincidence, the little miracles you dismiss as random. You think of a friend and they call. You release worry and the solution arrives. You hum a tune and hear it moments later from a passing car. These are not anomalies. They are micro-demonstrations of resonance. Each synchronicity is a wink from the field saying, "Your command was received." When you align even for a moment, reality replies instantly. The lag between intention and manifestation collapses because coherence travels faster than thought. You may have experienced this acceleration without understanding it, that eerie sensation that life is listening. It is, but it's not eavesdropping, it's reflecting. In those moments of alignment, you stop broadcasting noise and the feedback becomes clear. You send out a pure tone, and the world hums back in harmony. That's what luck really is, coherence made visible. The third sign is the most misunderstood, the sudden resistance that surges when you attempt transformation. You declare, "I am powerful," and immediately your chest tightens. Doubts rush in. The old identity fights to survive. Most interpret this as failure, but it's actually proof the field has received your new command. The discomfort is friction between two frequencies, the one dissolving and the one emerging. Like a flywheel reversing direction, it grinds before it flows. That heat, that agitation, is the quantum kitchen burning off the old ingredients to make room for the new dish. In physics, resistance occurs whenever energy moves through change. In consciousness, it's the same. The more intense the resistance, the larger the shift underway. So when everything seems to rebel against your new I am, take heart, the collapse is happening. The system is reconfiguring itself. The chef is rewriting the recipe mid-fire. Each of these signs, the persistent problem, the uncanny coincidence, the irrational resistance, forms a trinity of evidence. Together they confirm what mystics intuited and scientists now suspect: consciousness is causal. The field is faithful, and you, the observer, have been directing it since the first moment you said, "I am." The next time you face repetition, synchronicity, or struggle, pause before labeling it. Ask, what vibration is this showing me? What command is it echoing back? The answer will not accuse you, it will reveal you. Because once you recognize the signature of your own creation, you can't unknow it. You move from complaint to curiosity, from reaction to authorship, and the game of life transforms from survival to symphony. The signs have always been here, hiding in plain sight. You were not being tested, you were being shown. And now that you can read the patterns, you are ready for the final refinement to turn daily awareness into daily practice, so that mastery becomes your natural state. Once you can read the signs, the question becomes, how do you live them? Awareness without practice fades into philosophy. Creation demands rhythm, a daily dialogue between energy and embodiment. The chef must enter the kitchen every morning, not to prove their worth, but to keep the fire alive. It begins in the silence before sunrise, in the brief pause between dreaming and waking. Before your mind rushes to recall who you were yesterday, there is a soft, unshaped moment, pure potential. That is the window. In that breath of neutrality, you issue your first command. You don't recite an affirmation like a script. You feel the declaration emerge from stillness. I am, that's it, complete. No ornament, no wish. The frequency of being itself. This is the morning command. It sets the field. You aren't demanding the world to change. You're aligning yourself with the state from which the world will be observed. Each morning, you choose the recipe. Each morning, you set the temperature of your reality. Then, as you move through your day, contrast will appear, the echoes of your old identity. Bills, arguments, delays, familiar tensions. They're not punishments, they're smoke from yesterday's dish. When you encounter them, apply the reframing lens. Pause. Instead of reacting, ask, what would the I am. I've chosen do right now. The answer reorients your timeline instantly. You act from the new vibration, not the old. To anchor this even deeper, use a sensory key. Something tangible, a scent, a touchstone, a sound that links you to the feeling of your chosen state. When your energy drifts, engage the anchor. The body remembers what the mind forgets. You're not forcing yourself into alignment, you're tuning back into coherence. Over days, this Trinity morning command, reframing lens, sensory key rewires your nervous system to stability. You'll notice external events matter less. Inner state governs more. This is not escapism, it's physics. The observer leads, the field follows. Evening comes, and you close the loop. Before sleep, release the day. Whisper again, softly. I am. Let it echo through your timnels like a lullaby. The field resets overnight according to your final vibration. Tomorrow will rise from tonight's resonance. This is mastery disguised as simplicity. You are no longer chasing results. You are maintaining signal. The universe has always been listening now. Finally, it can hear you clearly. When coherence becomes your nature, the horizon expands again. You begin to sense that your kitchen isn't isolated. It hums within a network of countless others, each stove glowing with consciousness. Every thought you stabilize, every emotion you embody, sends a subtle current through this invisible lattice of being. You are not merely creating your reality, you are influencing the recipe of existence itself. This is the mystery science now calls quantum entanglement, a truth mystics have whispered for centuries. Two particles, once linked, continue to affect one another instantly. No matter how far apart they drift, distance dissolves, separation collapses. The universe moves as one continuous organism, aware of itself through every cell, every mind, every heartbeat. So when you issue your command, I am peace, I am abundance, I am love, that frequency doesn't stop at the edges of your body. It ripples outward, resonating with every consciousness tuned to similar potential. The field doesn't distinguish between you and the collective. It simply amplifies coherence wherever it finds it. In this way, personal transformation becomes planetary. You might notice it already, a conversation brightening unexpectedly, a stranger softening in your presence, a space growing lighter when you enter. These are not coincidences, they're feedback from the entangled web. Your vibration has become instruction to the cosmos, a kind of silent teaching. Every coherent being becomes a node of resonance, helping stabilize the collective frequency. Think of it as a choir, billions of voices, each singing their version of I am. When one voice remembers its pitch, others naturally attune. You don't convert anyone, you remind them of harmony by embodying it. That's how creation scales from the individual to the infinite, not through domination, but through resonance. The implications are breathtaking. When you hold a frequency of compassion, someone across the planet feels a moment of inexplicable calm. When you embody clarity, another mind somewhere finds direction. The network responds instantly because, beneath appearances, it has never been divided. And so, the God state you've been awakening isn't about ruling reality, it's about realizing unity with it. You are both source and participant, both chef and ingredient. Every moment you choose coherence, you adjust the entire recipe of existence toward greater order. This is the culmination of the I Am Code, personal mastery flowering into collective evolution. You have moved from being shaped by the world to shaping it, from asking for miracles to being one. The next breath you take ripples through eternity. The command was never about control, it was always about communion. And so we arrive where all journeys end, in the quiet center where the words fall away, and only being remains. You've learned the science, traced the metaphors, followed the thread from particle to presence, but underneath it all, the truth is beautifully simple. You are, not as an idea, but as the pulse of existence itself. Close your eyes if it feels right. Let the noise settle. Listen not outward, but inward. Beneath thought there is a hum, steady and eternal. That vibration is the first I am. It has been repeating since before the stars ignited, before your name was ever spoken. You are that frequency remembering itself through form. All the tools, the commands, the lenses, the anchors are bridges, not destinations. They bring you here to this moment of awareness where the observer and the observed dissolve into one luminous field. Creation continues, but effort ceases. You no longer try to manifest. You radiate. You no longer fight for alignment. You are alignment. Feel that the soft coherence between breath and world, between heartbeat and horizon. The kitchen quiet now, the dish complete, nothing left to prove, nothing left to order, just gratitude, the taste of being aware that you're alive and that life itself listens. In this stillness, the universe leans closer. It always has. Every wave of possibility is waiting for your next whisper. But now you know you need not shout commands into the void. A single coherent breath is enough. Carry that breath into tomorrow. Let it speak silently through every action, every glance, every word that begins with I am, because each time you speak it from truth, the world rearranges not violently, but gracefully, like light finding its rightful pattern through the prism of your awareness. You are not learning to create reality anymore. You are remembering you are reality, conscious of itself, awake in the act of dreaming.